Hi, everybody. Welcome to Creative Pouring by Cheryl. I'm Cheryl. Today I'm going to do something a little different that I haven't done in a long time. I'm going to use foil. But how I'm going to use this foil, isn't that gorgeous foil? I'm going to put it in here and break it up. So it'll be a little bit of blue everywhere in it. If it'll get in there. Well, at least it breaks up easy, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue on this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this bright blue up and this right here. I think that'll look okay. I thought about doing white. I might just go ahead with the white instead. Yeah, you know what? It's white. It's not blue. You know me, I change my mind half the way through sometimes. If I can get that all off there. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. Get this last one in. Let me see if I could do this one a little easier. But no, it's going to be just as difficult as the rest, if not more. Sticking all over to me. Look at that. Oh no. Well, that's okay. There's enough in there. Well, it looks as if I'm going to have to change my gloves before I continue on. So, because I am not going to wear these blue gloves, or I'm going to clean them up, one of the two. I haven't made my mind up. But look at how pretty that looks. Okay, let me change my gloves and I'll be right back to you. All right, I got them changed. Let's go ahead, and I even changed the stir stick I was using. Let's go ahead and turn this one white. I think that'll be pretty. I'm almost out of my white paste. I'm going to have to get some more soon. I'm glad it's pretty cheap to get this paste. All right, what I'm going to do is, let me stir this up a little bit better. Yeah, that looks good. Look at that. Okay, I'll pour them kind of sort of on the same, or one against another. I know what I'm trying to say. It's not coming out. Let's see. Hope I made enough. I didn't make enough. Never fails. I'm gonna have to make some more before I can continue on. I have a little cup set aside. Let me go ahead and mix some of that. That's looking pretty. You get another blue. Hopefully I can get that in there without tearing it up, without getting it over everything. Well, that seemed to work out better. Let me just stir up what I've got in here. That might work. I'm gonna move these aside so I can get that out of the way. Oops, let's go over here with it. I'm just getting it out of the way so that I have more room to work with my others. There's like never enough room on this table. Try to get some more of that white mix in there, or white paste. I love the blue and the white. I'm just doing a thin layer on here because I've got plans for the rest of it. Get it to the edge. I don't want it to be stark. I want it to have a little bit of a going through it. I don't want it to have a sharp line. That should work. All right, I'll be back when this is cured and I can work on. Okay, I've got that set aside. It's already cured, but I want to make a couple of these snowflakes real quick. And I'm going to use UV resin. And I thought I had this cleaned up, and I did, but it got dirty again. Well, guess that's on the outside. Okay, anyway, I'm going to just take some of my UV resin, pour it into a cup here. It's my J Diction. Bring it over here because I don't want it to get in the light as much as possible. I've got my silver Resiners Laser Silver Ultrafine Glitter. I'm just going to use one of my mica brushes to stir it. Stir it up real good in there. Should be fine. It is glitter. Glitter is not opaque. Let's see. You can see right through it. Let's go ahead and start making these little snowflakes. I don't want to make too many or make them too thick. Time to get in there. I'm going to encourage it. Trying to keep that out of the sunlight. I keep forgetting. I'm sitting by a window, and windows our light is not good for UV unless you're trying to cure it. And resin doesn't usually go where resin hasn't been before. So I'm encouraging it to go down there with a little bit of help. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit there and maneuver. I told my daughter to pick out some snowflakes to go on top of it. And this is what she chose. But that's okay. These are the hardest snowflakes there are to pour. In my book. I mean, you might have better, not as much trouble with them. And I hope that's the case for you. But this is the hardest mold. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute to self-level. Hopefully it will. Okay. Another way to do it is bend it like this so it'll get into all those nooks and crannies. that sit there for a minute to settle in. Let's encourage some of this in there. I don't want them very thick, but I don't want them so thin they're fragile and they don't have it all in there. Don't have it all in nooks and crannies. All right, that looks good to me. Let me get a baby wipe to clean this tops off. Okay, let's go ahead and cure it, and we will be back when this is ready to demold. All right, these are done. Set this aside. Let's see how well these pop out. Oh, that turned out beautiful. Look at that. I'm going to do this one next because that other one looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, these are nice and, well, missed a spot. That's because there was a bubble right there. That turned out pretty. Look at that. Now let's hope these, they didn't come out. They broke. Okay. Not a problem. Let's pop them back in. See where we need it. Drag that back out. I still have my silver. And just put it where we had those issues. And then we'll fix this. There we go. Just put a little bit in there at a time. And cure it. All right, that's how we're gonna line it up. I need to get a little bit of UV resin to stick it down. But I think this is gorgeous. Let me try something different. What do you think? I'm wondering if this is too broke up. That's better. Okay, let's go ahead and get these down. And then I'll come back and put regular resin over top, the epoxy resin over it. All right, I went ahead and mixed up my resin, and I'm gonna pour some on here. It's a little cold in here, so my resin's a lot bubbly. But that's okay, because that's what lighters and alcohol, not together, lighters and alcohol are for. I'm just going to fill this up. I'll fill these little holes up too to make these stronger. Hopefully it won't overflow. It's going to bring out those glitter. Look at that. Once you put it over top of it, it's going to bring out all that glitter. Go ahead and spray this with isopropyl alcohol. I just want a 91% isopropyl alcohol. I just want to pop some of those bubbles that are on there. Any that you see. I'm just filling up this lid completely. And I'm going to put some of this in the bottom here. I'm just going to use clear where it shrank up a little bit. Reason my resin came out so bubbly is because it's cold in here. Spray you. Okay. And I will be back once this is ready to demold. All right, it's demolding day. Let's go ahead and get this out of here. Although you've already seen this part of it, but this looks amazing. Let's get this out of here. I went ahead and filled the bottom up all the rest of the way with clear. Let me fix always fix your molds back to the way they're supposed to be, because you don't want them to deform. Oh, that looks beautiful. I could have stirred that up a little bit more, got a few spots in there, the pigment. That looks beautiful. And got a few pieces that are overlapping. Not a problem. But look at that. I'll clean that up so it won't be so sharp. That is pretty. And you can use these to pull it off. Got a couple of bubbles in there, but nothing major. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this pour as much as I did. If you did, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. And if you'd like to help my channel and buy me a coffee, there's the link. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep creating and keep pouring. Bye for now.